Hello everyone and welcome to a monster fighting guide for Monster Hunter Wilds. Since this video is made with the beta version, there'll be a lot of information that might change and just really missing. We'll revisit and rework on these videos when the full game launches. In this series, we'll discuss how to fight a monster, explain its moves, and how to counter or avoid them. Also further information to help to prepare for a fight, like helpful items to bring, environmental hazards, resources, and of course, monster strengths and weaknesses. We will start today with Rey Dau, the apex monster of the Windward Plains, arguably the strongest monster in the whole open beta. Rey Dau is a flying wyvern that uses the thunder element in most of its moves. Its thunder attacks can cause also thunder blight, which makes the player easier to get stunned. In order to heal this thunder blight, you have to use a no berry. A no berry is one of the most helpful items you should always bring with you, since they cure a bunch of other negative statuses. As of now, we don't really have access to hunter notes or other in-game data to be really sure of Rey Dau's weaknesses. It's not like we can really do much since we only have one of each weapon type, and none of them have elements or stats. When the full game launches, we'll have information on its elemental and stats weaknesses. But for now, let's at least avoid equipping the Characabra and Balahara armor sets against Rey Dau, because they reduce your thunder resistances. Okay, now let's go to the combat. Rey Dau has very telegraphed moves. It will attack you with its wings, slamming them on the ground. You can clearly see when the attack is going to happen, and just move out of the way. Sometimes it will strike with one wing, some tries it will try to combo with one after the other. One really important move is when Rey Dau will fly up in the air, do a sort of a backflip and slam its wing down on you. This move is quite powerful and it will hurt a lot if you get hit. Pay attention whenever it starts flying. It might also cut through the ground using the tip of the wing, trying to ram you over. While this move is strong, it is very easy to avoid. Give it some space and you can just move out of the way. You should also take some advantage of when it's flying and try to throw a flash pot of it, to drop the wyvern and get some damage in its face. Speaking of face, Rey Dau has 3 weak spots: the head, the wings, and the tail. Like we've discussed, the wings are used for most of its attacks, and we rarely ever use the tail. At least for me, I only ever got attacked by the tail when I was behind the monster trying to attack the tail itself. It might happen, but I very rarely ever got hit by the tail. Now for the head. Rey Dau has a few thunder attacks where it will charge some lightning on its horns and then close them on its face, kind of like setting up a real powerful railgun shot. Most of these attacks are very easy to see coming and avoid. Just run to the side and you will be fine. However, it has 2 big attacks that you should be aware of. They are very strong and the reason of most fates in this fight. Rey Dau will warn you by charging its back scales and charging its entire body to throw a massive thunder attack on you. And if you get hit by it, there's a pretty high chance you will faint, unless you have full health and some resistances. This might be easier when the full game launches and we have some better equipment, but I can see this move being quite strong during endgame. This move has 2 versions, a grounded and an aerial version. When they happen, you should run to the side and towards the monster. Since the move is shaped like a cone, the closer you are to the face, the easier it will be to avoid. However, the ground version seems to be a lot more dangerous with a larger area of effect. If you are too close to it, try to run to the sides of its wings and go behind the monster. When Rey Dau launches this move, it's kind of easy to get stuck into its body when trying to run away in panic. So, be careful to not get stuck between the wings and the face, okay? If you don't have enough time to take evasive maneuvers, you can always try and dive. Diving has a lot of iframes and will keep you alive if you do it correctly. Another important thing is that this attack covers a large area of effect, and hiding behind terrain is not a reliable way to avoid it. But the good news is after those attacks, Rey Dau's face will overheat, and after a few seconds you can attack it just as if it was wounded. So if you manage to avoid the move properly, you get a pretty good opportunity for a counterattack. Go for it. Keep up the fight, and with some patience, you end up fighting it on its nest. This area is filled with fulgurites, those blue rocks that look like blue parts on Rey's body. This is important because those blue rocks actually amplify a bit of Rey's power. Its attacks get a little bit stronger with larger areas of effect, so beware. You might get hit by moves here that you wouldn't get hit anywhere else. But in this area, we have two things to help you. First, there's a big rock that you can drop on it. Second, there are a few grounding pods, which dissipate electricity when you throw them, so you can throw them right into its face to weaken it, and to prevent it from using some attacks. At this point, the fight is probably very close to the end. Just keep going and you'll soon be over. In this point of the guide, I will talk about its equipment, the armors and weapons you can build from the monster, but we do not have access to Rey Dau's gear in the beta, but you can look forward to it in the full release. Thank you so much for watching and consider subscribing for more guides like this. We will do this kind of guide with much more in depth when the full game launches in February 2025. We'll have guides for every single monster to help you understand the fight better and to defeat them all, in a calm, sure way, since many of the speedruns only show the monster getting bullied over and over, never having a chance to fight back. I know how it feels to look for a speedrun, and it just feels like the monster never really does anything. I feel like I could learn nothing from a speedrun, so we will do this slow and steady, but sure and easy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.